What is up, guys? EJ here, aka Puckbond007, and welcome to the Movie Reviewers 100, this great collaboration channel on YouTube that I'm proud to be a part of. So this week is Tommy Lee Jones week. Very good actor, been around a long time now. Yeah, just a very fine actor, always has a great presence, never seems to make the wrong choices, and just a really very good actor. Um, so the film I'm going to talk about today is one of my favorite performances by Jones, and that is, of course, from the 1993 action thriller The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford, of course. One of my favorite action movies of all time. In fact, I absolutely love this movie. Watched it again last night. The Fugitive, of course, is based on I believe it's the 1950s TV show, which I hadn't seen prior to it. I've never seen it. The film was directed by Andrew Davis. Prior to The Fugitive, he'd done action movies like Above the Law with Steven Seagal, and most notably Under Siege, the previous year, 1992, which of course also starred Tommy Lee Jones as the bad guy. The script and the screenplay and the story was written by David Twohy, an accomplished director in his own right, with films like The Arrival with Charlie Sheen from '96. He did the first two Riddick movies, Pitch Black, which is a really good film, Below from 2002. So there's some good people behind this movie, and it's a terrific film. Of course, Harrison Ford plays Dr. Richard Kimball, a well-renowned vascular surgeon in Chicago with his wife, played by Celia Ward. One night after a fundraiser, his wife is brutally murdered during a sort of home break-in. Kimball comes home to discover his wife's been beaten and shot, and he wrestles with the assailant. But the police still believe him. They book him on murder, and he gets convicted of murder within the first 10 minutes of the movie, and he gets sent to prison, where he's awaiting lethal injection. They're gonna put him to death for the murder of his wife. The film for me really doesn't start until after those first 10 minutes, where we see sort of flashes of the attack and the sort of trial room scenes. The film really kicks off once Kimball is on his way to prison, in the bus with some other inmates, and then a fight breaks out. They try to escape, and then of course the bus crashes. The driver gets shot, and the bus crashes down a hill, ends up on some train tracks. Then the train comes, blasts the hell out of the bus. While everybody's trying to get out, some guys get shot. Richard Kimball is trying to save one of the guards, throw him out the window before the train bears down on the broken down bus. So yeah, he manages to get away. There's a big, huge crash. That train sequence is really when the film starts off. And then in comes the U.S. Marshals the next day, all the police, all the local state police, all that kind of stuff, gathered around, figuring everybody's dead. But then they find some chains, some leg chains, leg irons, which Kimball was wearing, and of course he's not in them. And that's where we meet Tommy Lee Jones' character, Deputy Samuel Gerard. And the film really kicks off, like I've been saying at this point, when he goes, I want a hard target search of every residence, hospital, farmhouse, doghouse, outhouse, within a sort of 6-mile radius. They set up roadblocks 15 miles away, checkpoints, and the film really begins. The chase film that The Fugitive is really known for begins. So basically, Harrison Ford is on the run. He goes to a hospital. He gets injured during the crash, has to fix himself up, steals an ambulance, makes his way into a tunnel, driving this ambulance. The marshals track him down, of course. And here's the other great moment of the film early in the movie, where Tommy Lee Jones catches up to Kimball in the sort of sewer system under the tunnel, and Richard yells out, "I didn't kill my wife," and Samuel Gerard says, "I don't care." And then, of course, Harrison Ford jumps off the dam, the spillway into the river, does a header right off the cliff, basically. And of course, he survives, and the chase continues. Um, it's really at this point that Harrison Ford really sort of has to seek out help from his former colleagues and friends. He has to figure out who this guy was, the one-armed man who killed his wife, who he believes obviously killed his wife. So he basically goes through hospital records to find out who's been having their arm surgically prosthetic arm. That's what I'm trying to say. And so he basically finds out what's going on. Meanwhile, Gerard and his team, which includes Joey Pantoliano. Joey Pant's a very good actor in his own right. There's some other members of the team. I don't remember all. I don't know all the actors' names. There's a black woman. There's a tall guy with like a mustache. He's appeared in lots of films during this time. I don't know his name offhand. There's a guy with a ponytail who gets into a sticky situation later on when they catch up with one of the other convicts, escaped felons. This guy Copeland in his house, and they break into the house. There's a raid on his house, and yeah, the guy with the ponytail gets himself in trouble in that situation. But yeah, it's a terrific chase movie. Kimball makes his way back to Chicago, obviously, where the film takes place. Lots of great scenes. I love the scene where he goes to visit one of these guys, who might be the guy with the prosthetic arm, and he actually goes to the sort of federal penitentiary courthouse. It's where the U.S. Marshals are stationed and they're working, and he goes in there to visit an inmate to find out if that's the guy he fought with that fateful night. And then, of course, he leaves and he's going down the stairs, and then Gerard's coming up the other stairs on the excuse me, opposite the opposite stairwell, and then Gerard thinks he sees him. He runs over to the balcony, yells down, "Richard!" And of course the chase continues, and then he manages to get away in that situation. Of course, by this time Kimball has changed his appearance, shaved off his big scraggly beard that he has early on in the film, dyes his hair, cuts his hair, and he basically goes to his old friends for help. This is very interesting because Jerome Krabby is the main villain, if you don't know, one of his colleagues during his medical practice days. And this is one of the films where I noticed like actors and actresses that I've seen in other stuff. Obviously, I totally forgot Julianne Moore was even in this film. There's a really good sequence with Julianne Moore. She plays a doctor at I believe it's Cook County Hospital. She's treating a whole bunch of patients in the ICU, and there's a little young boy who's got sort of big burn on his chest, and at this point Kimball is dressed up as a janitor. He's managed to forge some janitor documents, and he helps out the little boy, gives him the right treatment, sends him to the right place. And Julianne Moore is this young doctor trying to chase down Harrison Ford. Like, what are you doing? For a janitor, you have a lot of interest in that boy's x-ray. Yeah, he looks at the x-ray. Also, there's a great scene, a couple scenes where we see Jane Lynch. Of course, I had no idea who Jane Lynch was when this film started, but there's a scene where sort of montage where the marshals are interviewing Kimball's colleagues, and she plays a doctor, one of his friends. And then later on, he goes to her with these tissue samples, the liver samples, that the whole sort of crux of the final part of the film comes down to. These like liver samples based on some trial medicine for a pharmaceutical company that Jerome Krabby is mixed up in, and that's really why Kimball has been set up. Well, they actually planned to kill Kimball at the beginning, but they ran into his wife. Kimball sent back these pathological reports for this medicine that didn't turn out right for this big pharmaceutical company, and that's basically why they want to get rid of him. It's a great film, one of the best action thrillers of the 90s of all time. In fact, I need a better DVD release. I mean, this fucking Snapper Case. They never really came out with a great, really good sort of special edition DVD from what I remember. I'm sure the Blu-ray is probably better, but obviously not many extras. There's a couple behind the scenes documentaries. Really good film. Yeah, Harrison Ford, great as Kimball. Tommy Lee Jones, of course, won Best Supporting Actor at the Academy Awards for this performance as Gerard. He's got lots of great moments. Those two early moments, early on in the film, like I said, and he's just a great character. And of course, Alan yesterday talked about U.S. Marshals from 1998, a film I like a lot actually. Wesley Snipes is good, and but the film is really about Samuel Gerard's character, that movie, and yeah, it's not as good as The Fugitive, obviously, because Fugitive is a classic in my book. But U.S. Marshals is a good film, and Tommy Lee Jones, very good actor, very good character, Samuel Gerard, just no nonsense, yeah, smart talking. U.S. Marshal who's basically out to get his man, and he doesn't care what the consequences are. But of course, that sort of changes at the end of The Fugitive. So thank you for watching this very rambly and long review. My voice is shot, of course, because I've been working all day. It's just the heat and tired. Just my voice is. I need some water. I need something to drink. So thank you for watching as always. Make sure you check out all the guys' videos this week. Tommy Lee Jones week, a very good week. So until next time, I'll see ya.